mean, got to go in on that, the cripstore.com. As soon as you said that, it made me think, like, how long have you been operating under this domain?
4 months.
4 months?
Yeah. I had the idea about 2 years ago.
So what inspired that?
As I learned more about marketing and just being a cultural phenomenon on my own and understanding what street urban culture is about, how people want to spend their money, where people want to spend their money at. Would you rather go to the Best Buys to buy my CD, or would you rather go to the cripstore.com? I just think if you not, whether you from inside of the urban street culture or you from the outside, the cripstore.com just seems a lot more attractive.
For sure.
Best Buys everywhere.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think that's dope, but then I also think that, like, silently you're putting yourself up there in the upper echelon of, like, Crip rappers.
I mean, Snoop is up there.
Of course, for sure.
Cube is up there. We consider Cube a Crip rapper. Dub C.
But by you having the Crip Store, it's
I
like,
never thought about it like that, but that's funny. That's solid. You know what I'm saying? But nah, it was just really putting on for the culture.
For sure.
Like, my goal was eventually to have autographed copies of CDs from Trey D, autographed copies of CDs from Snoop Dogg, autographed copies from all kind of Crips.
Yeah.
Like, I got a blood store too. I just ain't talked about it, but okay. I feel like the whole street urban culture in Los Angeles is my job to put on for it, not just my side, but all sides.
Okay. Yeah, definitely. With that culture, with that street culture, the gang culture shit, I definitely think you a good representative.
That's the goal, man. I want people to be proud when I'm speaking about it. You know what I mean? And when somebody is disappointed, it does bother me, but I also got to be okay with being misunderstood too. So yeah, it's all good.
What do you think about where gang culture is at as far as relation to hip hop? You know what I'm saying? Over all the years, do you think it's a good thing? Do you think some things need to be changed, or how do you feel about it? Because they're so tied in now.
I think street urban culture, I mean, hip hop is street urban culture. In New York, it looked like D-Boys, right? So that's why Run DMC dressed like Dope Boys in tracksuits and Adidas. You know what I mean? That's the Dope Boy look. I think it's always been hella influential. You know what I mean? It's just over in Los Angeles, we have Crips and Bloods, so the influence, the street urban influence looks a little different. But it's pretty much the same here, New York, you know, New Orleans, Chicago, it don't matter. The streets influence hip-hop because hip-hop is the streets.
Yeah.
Don't mean everybody is a criminal, but the densely populated crime, you know, densely populated crime-ridden communities, as that culture is developed, it, you know, that culture becomes what you hear in hip-hop. That's how you see the art displayed itself.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, so I think it's the same here or New York. I mean, people been talking about Bloods and Crips, but you've been seeing Death Row and Snoop Dogg. You know, Death Row is Compton, you know, Mob Piru, and Snoop Dogg and Dog Pound are 20 and insane Crips. And, you know, this is in 1992.
Yeah. So,
you know, it's never gotten away before. I mean, so I don't think it's gonna get in the way now.
But how do you feel though, as a Cali dude, like really, really growing up in this shit where this shit comes and seeing how it's perpetuated so much, like, and replicated like everywhere else outside of California?
I just think culture is contagious. We rap. I mean, we DJ, or, you know, I think culture is contagious. Some of the things that, look at lean.
Yeah.
That was a Texas thing my whole life, and one day now everybody think they own a motherfucking double cup. Like, you know what I mean? I just think some of the more contagious things fly outside of the culture. So you can't, like, I hold on to ghetto culture, you know what I mean? Don't get me wrong, but I don't hold it from the ghettos.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Now, if somebody else that's not from the ghettos try to get their hand on it and start acting like they're the culture, it's like, nah, you a fraud. But
facts.
I do think we do have, I don't want to say the term influence, but I think the same reasons that make us try different things exist in all these places. The reason why people is doing what they doing here can exist in Houston.
Because they can relate.
Yeah, you know what I mean? It's the same poverty and oppression, so of course they should be cripping in Houston or cripping in Atlanta or cripping in Brooklyn. It's the same shit.
Okay. At any point, do you think gang culture has ever been toxic for hip hop?
No.
No,
No.
for sure.
Because it's like motherfuckers was getting shot. People ask me, do I think like the movie Colors, when the film Colors came out, and they was like, oh, you know, we didn't have gangs in, my homie Maz was saying they didn't have gangs in Toledo. I'm like, yes, y'all did. He said, no, we didn't after the movie Colors. And I'm like, no, y'all just was naming them after the street. Because that's all gangs is.
Yeah.
Like, you know, Colors is not the first time a motherfucker got shot in another city. Colors ain't the first time they had cliques fighting in these other cities. They just retitled the name of the cliques. Or they say, okay, we're going to wear these colors like this movie. But they was already tripping. So again, it's just relatability in the ghetto. It won't last in these suburbs. You can't go to some of these middle-class, white, affluent communities, you feel me, and they going to start being Crips and Bloods. They don't have the things needed there for you to plant it in the dirt and sprout trees from it. That ain't going to work that way.
Yeah, it's always been street organizations.
It got to be where poverty and oppression and all of those things exist for it to work. Yeah. Or it got to be neighbored to it.
Okay. Do you think it is the movies like Colors or other things, the thing that made the blood and the Crip thing such a staple or so replicated?
Yeah, I mean, I think people got exposed to it that way, and they made it a lot more digestible than it really is.
Yeah.
You know, it's way, the real thing of gangbanging is way more nuanced. I was just at that community center we was talking about and talking to my homeboy from Grape and Bonnie, and you would hear the outskirts and think they hate each other, but they really all family. So they do fight, but then they friends and families, like the 20s and the Insanes. They both Crips in Long Beach, and you would think they all fight, but no, they all grew up together too. Yeah. And that's the nuanced part that's not explained in these films.
Yeah.
It just comes across like, hey, he's a Blood, he's a Crip, they fight.
Yeah.
It's way, my older brother is from Brim, you know what I mean? We not gonna fight.
Yeah, for sure. The gang culture, of course, has always been a part of LA, everything, the music. Just being an LA artist, when you interact with other artists and you build and you're trying to connect, it's probably outdated for it to be like this, what I'm about to explain, but does it ever get in the way? Does gang culture ever get in the way of, like, you know, just interacting with other artists and business people?
No.
Nah?
Not for the most part, no.
Yeah, for sure.
It's really, but also that could be a D-boy mentality that I have inside, where it's like, I've always had to earn revenue with different people from different communities, so it don't matter exactly where they from. Can we get some money together?
Thanks.
So I think that transition to the music business well.
Okay.